Ever stop and wonder what you could really achieve? If you weren't held back by the limits you maybe think you have.
Mm.
Imagine just unlocking all that potential, all those hidden resources inside you. What would that even look like?
It's a huge question, isn't it? And that's exactly the territory we're stepping into today, really exploring how to understand and expand our own capabilities.
Absolutely. And we've got some great stuff to guide us. There's this LinkedIn article by Greg Perry. He's a global well-being specialist, executive coach, all about discovering your true potential.
Right. And we're also looking at a video transcript,
hmm
which is interesting because it gives these really powerful questions for like self-discovery.
Yeah, exactly. So the mission today really is to dig into both of these, pull out the best insights, the actionable stuff.
Stuff that can help you get a clearer picture of your own potential and, maybe more importantly, how to actually start tapping into it.
Okay, so diving in. That LinkedIn article, it really grabbed me with this core idea that, well, most of the boundaries we feel are actually ones we've kind of built ourselves.
hmm
Perry says it straight up. The boundaries that represent our limitations are mostly determined by our beliefs. That kind of stops you in your tracks, doesn't it?
It really does. And what's fascinating is how these beliefs get locked in, often without us even realizing it. The article uses that classic analogy, the baby elephant.
Oh, yeah, the one tied to the stake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So early on, it learns, okay, I can't break this rope, I can't pull up this stake, and that belief just sticks.
Right.
Even when the elephant's fully grown, huge, strong enough to easily snap the rope or pull the stake out, it doesn't even try.
Because the belief is still there.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The belief overrides the reality of its own strength.
Yeah.
It shows how powerful those early learned limitations can be, even when they're just not true anymore. It takes conscious effort, like unlearning and finding new evidence to override it.
Wow. So it's like we're all potentially walking around with these invisible sort of ropes or stakes from our past, assumptions or experiences that are holding us back way after the original reason is gone. Makes you think, can you spot any of those ropes in your own life right now?
And then, building on that, the article pivots to something more empowering, which is, well, the power of imagination, vision.
Okay.
Perry really stresses this. When we visualize the outcomes that we seek to achieve, our goals become a reflection of what we believe to be possible.
So our goals themselves might actually be capped by our current beliefs. Like we aim for what we think is realistic based on those old limits.
Exactly, which leads him to ask this really critical question. What if we're shortchanging our goals and aiming too low?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Have we settled? Have we aimed lower than what we're actually capable of because of these limiting beliefs?
It's definitely something to consider. And this is where that video transcript comes in really handy. It offers a practical way forward. It gives us a set of targeted questions. Questions designed for self-reflection to help us actively dig into our own capabilities and what we really want. Moving from theory to practice.
Okay, I like that. What's the first question?
The first one is, what am I naturally good at? And I thought it was helpful how it immediately makes a distinction, between talents, the stuff you're just inherently good at, and skills, which you learn.
Right, like being good with numbers versus being good at data entry.
Exactly. The example they used was someone skilled at data entry, maybe that's their job, but their natural talent is storytelling. They might not even be using that talent much.
Huh. So it's about spotting those things that come almost effortlessly.
Yes. And the video suggests a couple of ways to do that. One is, we'll ask people. Ask friends, family, people who know you well. They often see things you don't.
That makes sense. Get an outside perspective.
And also reflect on those flow moments. When you're totally absorbed in something, time flies, and you're just performing really well without thinking too hard about it. Those moments often point to natural talents.
Ah, okay. And didn't it also mention journaling, like thinking back?
Yeah, journaling about strengths you've shown since you were a kid. It's about reconnecting with those fundamental abilities that maybe got buried under all the skills you had to learn for school or work.
So thinking back for yourself, what are those things that have always felt relatively easy for you?
Moving on, the second question shifts focus a bit. It asks, what energizes me deeply?
Okay, so not just what you're good at, but what actually, fuels you.
Precisely. It's digging into passion versus just competence. You can be really good at something, technically proficient, but it actually drains you.
Right.
The video highlights this distinction. Intrinsic motivation, that inner drive, is just so vital for sticking with things long term, especially when, things get tough.
They had that story, didn't they? About the lawyer.
Yeah, that's a great example. A competent lawyer, successful by external standards perhaps,
Yeah.
but they found their real energy, their passion, uh, shifted when they started teaching.
It really shows that feeling of misalignment, even if you're doing the job well.
Definitely. And the practical tip here is pretty simple but effective. Track your energy levels. Maybe for a week or so, just notice when you feel most alive, most engaged, versus when you feel drained.
Ah, so you start to see patterns.
Exactly. You identify those activities that genuinely recharge you.
Mm-hmm.
And the video connects this strongly to purpose, suggesting that what consistently gives you energy often points towards what you're meant to be doing.
Interesting. So what activities leave you feeling invigorated, not depleted?
Okay, the next question digs even deeper, potentially into purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's, what problems am I passionate about solving?
So connecting potential to contribution, making a difference.
Yeah, the idea is that our sense of purpose often comes alive when we feel we're contributing to something bigger than ourselves, tackling issues that genuinely matter to us. So the video prompts you to think about, well, what makes you angry or sad, or what gets you really fired up thinking, someone needs to fix this.
Like climate change or education.
Our mental health. Yeah, those were some examples given. It's about identifying what stirs something in you emotionally.
It's a powerful lens. And the challenge was to pick just one.
Identify one problem that really moves you emotionally. So think about the world around you. What issues consistently pull at you or make you want to act?
Okay, so we've looked at talents, energy, problems. What's next?
Next up is a big one. What does success really mean to me? And the video gives a really important warning here.
Which is?
Don't just automatically adopt society's definition of success. You know, the typical money, fame, corner office kind of thing.
Right, because that might not actually be your definition at all.
Exactly. The point is to craft your own deeply personal definition. Maybe for you, success means peace of mind, or freedom, or making a specific kind of impact. It's about aligning with your core values, not just chasing external benchmarks.
That feels crucial. How do they suggest getting clear on that?
One exercise is to visualize your ideal day, say 5 years from now. What does it actually look like, feel like? Who are you with? What are you doing? That helps make your definition concrete.
Like bringing it to life.
Yeah. And they also suggest writing out a personal success statement, just crystallizing what success means for you in your own words. It's got a powerful anchor.
So what would your ideal day look like based on your definition of success?
Okay, the fifth question tackles the flip side, the obstacles. What's holding me back?
Back to those limiting beliefs we talked about earlier, and fear.
Yep, it directly confronts those. Things like fear of failure, fear of judgment. The video lists common examples like, I'm not good enough, or maybe it's too late for me to change.
We all have those thoughts sometimes, don't we?
Absolutely. But what's helpful is the reframing technique it offers. Instead of letting the fear paralyze you, ask yourself, okay, honestly, what's the worst that could actually happen if I try this?
And usually the reality isn't as catastrophic as the fear makes it seem.
Often, no. When you really look at it objectively, the potential downside is manageable, or at least not world-ending. It helps cut the fear down to size.
That's a good practical tool. Did they suggest an action step too?
They did. Write down one specific fear that you feel is holding you back. Just one. And then identify one small, manageable action you can take, maybe this week, to face that fear, just a tiny step.
Okay, so identifying the obstacle and taking one small step past it. What are those obstacles for you, and what's one tiny move you could make?
And then there was a kind of bonus tip at the end of the video section.
Oh, yeah.
Growth begins with curiosity. I really like that. It emphasizes that you don't have to wait until you feel totally ready or have all the answers.
Just start exploring.
Yeah, just be curious. Engage with new ideas, try small things. That is the start of growth. Don't wait for permission or perfect conditions.
That connects really well with the LinkedIn article, too. The call to expand the limits of what you used to think was possible.
It does. And Perry quotes Emerson in the article, which is just so powerful. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be.
Wow. That really puts the ball back in your court, doesn't it?
Completely. It encapsulates this whole idea, really.
Yeah.
Overcoming those limits we talked about, the self-imposed ones, it's not like a one-off event. It's a practice.
Right.
It's about continually questioning those old beliefs and actively, consciously developing new, more liberating beliefs about who you are and what you can do.
So listening to all this, thinking about those 5 questions from the video, natural talent, energy, problems, success, obstacles, which one really landed for you?
Mhm.
Which one maybe sparked something, a new thought or a little aha moment?
And maybe just one final thought to leave you with.
Hmm.
Consider this. What if shifting just one small belief you hold about what's possible for you? What if that could unlock a significantly bigger area of your potential?
Hmm.
What might that first tiny shift, that first small step towards believing something different actually be?